Yeah. Good morning, all the students, and I welcome our council colleague, senior most, and the one and only one whenever MCA name comes, Sri Priya Madam. And today we have our speakers with us, CA Parth and CA Vedaraman. And I really appreciate the Board of Studies team for taking up their time on Sundays and organizing the event. So I welcome all of you to the 13th live webinar. And today's topic is on MCA portal. Like what exactly is an MCA portal, what all services it gives, and what is that we can understand from that. So both the learned speakers will take us through that. So before that, let me share when the issue came up with the council that now that everything is converted to the portal, probably all of you might be knowing now our tax deadline is today. And I know in spite of the deadline timing and running, you have taken out a time to attend. So now everything is an online portal. So now you know the glitches that is involved, the frustration that goes on, the client that understands, he thinks it is a simple approach, but we know the aspect that goes on. So it is time that not only the members, the students should also be aware of the entire portal knowledges. So with that intention is what council has taken a decision, and Board of Studies Operation has decided to conduct a weekly webinars. And let me share the weekly webinar. Today is the 13th session, 13th week we are going with. Every Sunday, 10:30 to 12:30 will be the session. So request any of your friends who are not aware to kindly inform. And the response to the program is so amazing that we started off Sri Priya with 1,500 students and reached out to almost 8,000 to 10,000 students nationwide. And after that, also some students, because of their time constraint, who could not attend the program, they have seen the live, do not write the recorded part of it. So with this, I can say that the program is giving a complete, immense knowledge to the student. So I request students also to participate in large number. And the faculties over here can give you all the question and answers also. I mean to say any questions or queries you have, you can key in the message box. So the faculties will get back. I request both the speakers also to allot some time in the last 15-20 minutes in order to clear if any questions students have it. So the time is also very important. So I don't take much time. So I request my council colleague Sri Priya to have a few words for all our students. Thank you very much.
Sure. All the future chartered accountants in the audience, to Sridhar Mupalaji, my colleague in the council, who does exemplary and very silent work. I didn't even know you had finished 13, so it's very, very nice. To the speakers of the day, Vedaraman, who's been enormously supportive on projects that the ICI has been doing. To CA Parth Jawar, the same follows. Thank you for your support. To Anandita Kundu, to Kapil Gupta, to Mr. Alok, the tech support team. He has a very, very hearty good morning to all of you. So I'm exceptionally delighted to be here today. So in fact, from 9 a.m. this morning, I've been very, very excited to be there for this program, got ready on a Sunday morning. And I find a greater joy in me when I see that there's a student activity happening, because I think you are going to be our future and the future of governance of this country. I mean, whatever you do, just stay ethical. So in terms of my own overview, I'm going to take only 5 minutes on setting this context. So let me start from the very beginning. Very good is this context of a limited liability. So if the company fails, the company is liable, the shareholders are liable only for the uncalled portion of the share capital, unpaid portion of share capital. So it gives you an enormous amount of flexibility to run your business and take risks. Now, the oldest companies were the East India Joint Company, the Dutch East India Company, the English East India Company, and we've come a long way from there. Now, when you have something that gives so much of benefit to a shareholder, obviously the system can be gamed, correct? Somebody can use the legal vehicle of a company, collect a lot of money and run away, right? So there's obviously an act to govern the companies. So what's that act called? It's today called the Companies Act 2013. What did we have before the Companies Act 2013? We had the Companies Act 1956 and the earlier acts. Now we keep using this term MCA. MCA. What is MCA? MCA is the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So that's an institution. It's the Institutes Act. Now, the new government, the government that we have in place says, look, you must have ease of doing business, but you should also comply with the law. So your client can be a partnership, it can be a proprietorship, he can be whatever, he can be a trust, a society. But if a client chooses to be a company, then you have to respect everything in the Companies Act that says this is how a company has to be run. Now, in that context, it's his choice. So today, what you must remember with all the audits that you do and all the work that you do is you're auditing a company, which means he has to comply with this Companies Act. If you don't want to comply with the Act, become something else. Don't be a company. That's the watchword. Now, in Companies Act, you have multiple parts. The role of a director, it talks about the role of the board, it talks about financial statements, it talks about audit and auditors, it talks about compromises, arrangements, everything, right? Now, that's one way of looking at the Act. Now, another way of looking at the Act is to say, what does the Act do for me? It tells me that I have to follow certain things. So a company has to do X number of board meetings a year. The company needs to register the charges that it creates on its assets for facilities obtained. So those are the processes in law. Now, in addition to the procedure that you have to follow, the government also says this is self-regulation. There are hundreds of procedures that you have to follow. You have to place your financial statements before the board. You have to get it audited. These are the procedural aspects of law. Now, in addition to complying with the law, the government also says, the Companies Act also says, look, not only do you have to follow the procedure, you have to also file some returns with the companies. So today, if you look at it, Companies Act is called as a delegated legislation, which means there is a body of law, and then you have rules that are made under the law, which is called as the subordinate legislation. And the rules say that some forms have to be filed. CSR 1 has to be filed. CSR 2 has to be filed. MGT 7 has to be filed. AOC 4 has to be filed. So similarly for LLPs also you have certain form filings. You have annual return form 11. So these are examples. Now specifically in today's context, so MCA, what did they do? See, when I was very young and I was doing my articles, if you wanted to find out about a company, you had to go to the registrar of companies. You had to pay 10 rupees and then they'll give you all the public documents. You'll sit and write everything down. So for me to see any company, I have to go there. Then sometime in 2008, MCA said, why don't we make this whole thing online? Why should we have people submitting physical documents? So that's when they introduced the MCA portal. Thereafter, the portal got upgraded. So that was version 1. Then they had a version 2. Now in version 2, what will you do? You will go take a form. You will download the form. You will fill up everything. Director's name, change director, this, that, everything. And then you will upload the form. Now the government said, oh, why are we troubling these people to download, upload, etc.? Why can't we make it even more easier? So now they have come up with something called as version 3, where your whole form will be online. You fill up the form, then you download the form, you attach the digital signature, and you submit it back to the government. So this is on the aspect of how to file returns. Now, MCA also did something very nice. Previously, only a chartered accountant or a professional user will get a login. Of course, the director will also have his own credentials in MCA. But then they said, in fact, we were part of this discussion and we also provided our inputs from the Corporate Laws Committee. They said, why don't we give access to professional staff users? So let's say in my office, I have 5 articles and I'm filing returns for, let's say, 20 companies. I can ask my 5 articles by creating a login in MCA and allowing them to fill up the form. So you actually have the power to fill up a form today in your own name in the MCA portal. Now, once the form submission is done, why is this good for the country? That's the most important thing. See, nobody makes a law for the love of the law. They make a law for the love of the land. So what is okay, and let's go back to MCA for just 1 minute. What if you go to this MCA website, there'll be one small tagline. It'll say empowering businesses and investor protection. Those are the 2 important goals or mission of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So what's the government going to do with all this data? So once all this data is available to the government, they can pick out errors and start correcting that law. Today, if you look at MCA, they're coming up with a huge range of actions to ensure enforcement. So, for example, a lot of you must be familiar with the new Schedule 3, which is relevant for financial statements this year. So many additional disclosures. Strike off companies. Do you know that in India, about 3 to 4 lakh companies got struck off because they did not file returns? Today, your client that you're dealing could be having some balance with a struck off company. We don't even know. So, 2020, auditors are supposed to report on a lot of things. Today, the CARO is also enhanced and we are required to comment on a lot of aspects. Similarly, MCA also says you need to file forms properly, on time. Give me all the data, but we will also help you. So today, if you put the SIN number, everything will come automatically, whatever data you have stored. You don't have to go and type once again, right? So that's your version 3 for you. Now, version 3 has already been implemented for LLPs. Most of you would have, whoever has been the next couple of months. And ICAI is also helping the ministry to test these forms. Now, what's in it for you in this webinar? That's what you'll ask me, right? You'll say, okay, ma'am. Again, I'd like to compliment Sridharji for this amazing initiative because ultimately I figured out that good amount of 70% of the work is done by the students in our offices. And that's a critical and integral part of your training. So for you as a form filler, what's the most important thing? Please make sure that it's accurate. Don't take some shortcuts and put XYZ. No, because whatever you fill up is going to go to MCA and it's going to get logged in there and that company is going to get a notice. So that's a generation which is reasonably okay. I mean, we've done manual, then we've seen Excel, then we've seen floppy drives, we've seen pen drives, we've seen, Sridhar and I are the Xennials. I think that's what they call us.
You forgot CD drive.
Yeah, we've seen CDs and the most important is those floppies. A lot of them never used to work. And we used to have these big looking boxes which will occupy more of your desk than you. So now you're in a completely automated process. We're like slightly outdated by both time and technology. Today, if you tell me too much, I don't. But here is a generation that's completely contemporary on technology and you would be able to add tremendous value to the work that your principals are doing. So go ahead and learn everything. Go into detail. See, a lot of times I know this is the Insta generation, you're there, but sometimes just go Google and look at the MCA website. And it actually makes you a better professional. And please remember that you're an integral part of this country's journey to corporate governance on how companies can function effectively, efficiently, and most of this because I want to leave behind a better India than I saw. For my children, for my grandchildren, for all of you here. And if each one of us put that into our heads and say, whatever I'm doing today, is this good for the country? Then our problem is solved. So thank you once again very, very much for this invitation for us to be here today. I'd like to meet you more often on these companies' activities. We're very happy to support Sridharji, and it's over back to the audience. And I'm sorry if I took a little longer. Thanks.
Thank you, Shri Priya. First of all, I thought today we have only 2 speakers, but we have 3 speakers. In fact, even we enjoyed a lot the way you introduced the MCA portal, the need and all. Probably it made the speakers thing very easy. And I know that students have benefited. Let me share, Shri Priya Madam is the Corporate Laws Committee Chairman. And now you should understand how best she is representing ICAI on behalf and how MCA is really getting benefited. And the image of the institution in the eyes of MCA has improved under leadership of Shri Priya Madam. So now I request both the speakers, we would like to hand over the session. Alokji, request to kindly introduce both the speakers because we have 2 speakers today, one from Indore, Raman from Tamil Nadu. So let's have both the speakers and I'm sure that student will be benefited. Alokji, request to kindly take forward.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, at the outset, I am so much thankful to Shri Priya ma'am for setting up the context so beautifully for this first session, which we are starting today on corporate laws. And very aptly, the title and the framework which has been suggested by our chairman and vice chairman. We are thankful to you, sir, for all the guidance. And now, in the interest of the time, may now introduce you to the first speaker of the session. Today we have CAS Veda Ramanji. He is a practicing registered valuer and completed his diploma in Information Systems Audit from ICI and his diploma in IFRS from ACCA, United Kingdom. Also, he completed the certificate course on Forensic Audit and Fraud Detection, certificate course on Concurrent Audit from ICI, and he has been actively contributing in this area since his association with ICI. So thank you so much for being with us today. Our next speaker is CA Parth Jawar. He is hailing from Indore, yes, the cleanest city of India, and he started his professional career with a bank as member in its group internal audit team. During his professional tenure as banker and practicing member, he came across many instances wherein the guidance has been provided with regard to MCA portal for audit and verification purposes. He is also actively involved in CLCGC of ICI regarding upgradation of MCA portal for LLP, commonly termed as migration from V2 to V3, as trainer and take-in sessions for members. Thank you so much to both the esteemed speakers for joining us today. Now, may I now request our first speaker, Veda Ramanji, to please start with the proceedings of today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Veda Ramanji.
Yeah. Very good morning, Undal. Thank you, Sripriya ma'am, for giving a very good context, because you have covered it in brief, like what I have prepared for today's session, like the background and how it was in the older days. Very thankful to you. I am just sharing my screen to start. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes. Yeah. The topic that was discussed, like before we are getting into the detailed version of MCA portal in technicality, first the student should understand like what is the MCA portal and how best it can be used before we getting into technicality. So the session was planned, and I am just showing the agenda for the today. Like as a student, like what you need to know about the MCA portal, that will be shown in a guided way, and what are the features that are available in the MCA portal. And next, we will go to the MCA services. What are the list of MCA services that are available in the MCA portal? And then how it can be best, it can be used for our audit and data validation as well as for research, in addition to the statutory compliance. Yeah, this is our today's agenda. So, what is the need for MCA portal? Like CPM ma'am said that like the Companies Act introduced for the to regulate the companies, like the investors and the board may be different, may be same, or due to lift the corporate veil and for the better governance, the act is intended. See, if the law is not enforced, there is no purpose for legislating a law, right? So whenever there is a law is enacted, so it should be enforced. To enforce it, we need some tools and we need rules, regulations, and that needs to be monitored. So, as a basic understanding, every student will have this understanding, like there will be an act and there will be subordinating rules. Like act will say what you have to do and what you should not do, what are the list of things. Whereas rules will guide you how to do it. Like if you have to get a DIN to become a director, Companies Act will say. So the rules will say what form you have to file, what is the time limit within which you have to file the form. The rules will tell you. So the rules are mostly like into a practical or procedural oriented in most of the cases, and what are the time limits that are available. So in order to implement the rules, we need certain tools. Like now, for the purpose only, the MCA portal has been introduced. So not only to comply with the law, the regulators the law enactors, they should be able to monitor the compliance. If they find something is not correct, they should enforce the law and they should correct it. So for the enforcing and monitoring also, we need the tool. To integrate all these two, even if you go to the MCA portal in the home screen, you will see the empowering business and protecting investor. That is the tagline. Below that, you can be able to see that is a regulator, integrator, facilitator, and educator. That is the more important. I feel like they are acting as a regulator, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, as well as they are integrating various stakeholders and facilitating the stakeholders, as well as educating the investor. They are taking care of this. The MCA portal is a very good asset that can be used in a very better way. So with this, I am moving to, we understood that what is the need for the MCA portal. Then I am just taking you to the ministry, like MCA, another area. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs, like to give a better class, world class corporate governance, they have introduced the MCA portal and for strengthening the effective enforcement of Companies Act. That is the major purpose for introducing the MCA portal. We need to understand how the MCA portal has been transformed. Like before the Act was 1956, in my seniors and as well as CFM told that they used to go to the register of companies to get some data of companies, etc. Like before that, before 2006, it was everything was manual. Everything was manual. In 2006, they have introduced the pilot version with the Register of Companies Coimbatore. Then they moved to Delhi and they have implemented a full stage version before 2008, the version 1. And whatever the forms and returns, everything that was done in the manual form, they made it into a digital. Because as far as the in 2000, early 2000, and that is the time the technology getting into all the spaces. So if you don't adopt the technology, it will be very difficult. So for the governance, etc. So the Ministry of Corporate Affairs proactively accepted and they have implemented accepted the digital transformation, and they have started the MCA portal in 2006. Then later on, they have migrated to version 2. Now it is version 3. Version 3 is getting implemented. So in the manual processing of forms, see, if you want to incorporate a company, see, you have to visit your ROC. Like in Tamil Nadu, we have ROC in Chennai, ROC in Coimbatore. We have ROC in Delhi. Like there are a lot of, most of the states will have one ROC. And if you want to incorporate a company, you have to go to register. You have to give your request. As per the company side, you have to prepare the form in a manual form. I want this name for my company. Please check the availability. They will get that application form. They will process it. They will check that, like whether the name is identical, unique, or it is identical with another company. First, they will check with their own register of companies area. Then they will search with other register of companies also. Then after 5 to 10 days, they will give you a suggestion that either they will give the approval or they will ask you to come back with any other name, as it is not undesirable under the Act. So to reserving a name for incorporating a company will take 5 to 10 days. That's also a manual form. From our point of view as a professional, like the moment we submit a form, we can sit and wait for the approval or rejection. Whereas on the other part, the ministry part, they have to manually verify the name with their concerned ROC, as well as they have to counter check it with other ROCs. So it will take it's a very time consuming process, as well as the annual return. Annual returns has to be filed, annual returns on similar forms that has to be filed in the specified due date. What they will do, they will accept the forms. Like they will note out on what date you have filed the form. What is the date it is supposed to be filed. They will calculate what is the difference, what is the penalty or late fee that can be levied. They will collect it on later date. But now it is a completely different scenario. Earlier, the manual process was very time consuming, and it was a very tiresome process for the professionals as well as for the bureaucrats as a corporate office workers. Now they introduced the MCA. So it helped to do a better corporate governance, and it helped in the ease of doing business. How it helped? Like whatever the forms that you have submitted in a manually, now it got converted into digital. You have to download a PDF form. It is a fillable PDF form. You have to fill all those details and you have to authenticate yourself with the digital signature. The digital signature will be a key thing to authenticate the document. In the manual form, we used to sign it, and in the web form or e-form, we used to authenticate the form and identify our identity using the digital signature. The once the digital forms introduced, it will be easy for the MCA as well as professionals to monitor the forms, as well as they will be easy to pull out the data. They can do the data analytics and what are the data. Even most of the students are familiar with the Excel. It is easy to search some data in the Excel. It is quite easy than searching a data in the books. So in similar way, when it's become a digital, it is very easy for the ministry to process the forms and to collect the late fees or penalties or whatever to enforce the law. The system will automatically calculate what is the due date of filing. That is 30th September. If for example 30th September, when are you filing? 5th of October. For the 5 days, what is the late fee? It will add the fee and ask you to pay at the time of submission itself, so that it will reduce the man hour as well as it will improvise the process. Like the re-engineering of the corporate governance process. They have re-engineered the complete process using the digital transformation and they have moved it to online. And moreover, the moment you submit a manual forms, you will not know, you have given the form on 24th or 25th of some time. But on what date the MCA has acknowledged it, we might have some acknowledgement, but you have to tabulate it to have a history of complaints. In digital, if you go to MCA site, you can see the history, like when the form has been filed and what are all the forms has been filed. So we can have a proper backing, like what are the forms filed. We can have the history of compliance. Mainly the stakeholder friendly. Like for the investors, they need to know whether the company's existence or not. Like in manual, they have to go to the concerned ROC and they need to verify that the company is existent or not. Now it's a single click, they can able to verify where is the company, who are all the director, what is the complaint status, and whether it's active or under investigation or under what, like it going through insolvency. So that everything can be monitored as an investor friendly in the MCA portal 2.0. Now they have migrating into version 3. Version 3, I'm just going to give a very brief about version 3 because Parth is going to take over version 3. So the version 3, like in version 2, we used to download the forms, the PDF forms from the MCA portal. We used to fill all the data and we re-upload the data to the MCA portal and they will process. Like we are getting an empty form, we will fill the data that will be uploaded. The MCA system and software will extract the data from the PDF file and they will process it. This is how it used to happen. Now they introduced the web forms. Most of the people are used to about like the SPICE forms and DR3 KYC forms. These are web forms, wherein like you don't have to fill anything in PDF. You have to do all the work. You have to transact all the work in the MCA portal itself. Directly you will feed in the MCA portal. That will be saved in the MCA portal. On submission, you have to download the PDF. You have to authenticate yourself with the digital signature and you have to re-upload. In this process, like there is no need for the system to re-extract the data because already you are entering the data into their software system. So it is easy for the MCA portal to process the data in a better way using some analytics. They can come up with, they can process some more of analytics. And it was like developed with AI support, the artificial intelligence support. They have developed the version 3. And due to the version 3, like it's in the transition process. So everything is getting cleared. All the glitches are over. It will be very smooth and the process will be very accelerated one. And LLP, they have implemented in the, from March 2022, they have implemented the LLP version 3. The company forms are going to be implemented from August 31st or September 1. It is in the process. So we are moving to version 3. So before we get into version 3, first of all, we should know what are all the features and what are all the works that are happening in MCA to get the best use of version 3. And who are all the stakeholders who are using the MCA portal? First, registrar of companies, the ROC and the regulator, the ground level regulators who are all enforcing the law, and they are using the MCA portal first. Once you file any form, like if you want to move your registered office from one state to another state, you should get the approval from the registrar of companies. Like when you apply for the apply it in using the digital form, that will be forwarded to a concerned registrar of companies. They will verify the data whether it's approved, it can be approved or not. It needs any resubmission. They will analyze the form, and everything in their back end, all the data will be presented to validate the trustworthiness or validate the correctness, and they will process the form. So the first registrar of companies is the main stakeholder for the MCA portal. Then companies and LLP to comply with the law and procedure. In order to comply with the statutory compliance, the companies and LLPs are using the MCA portal. Then professionals, like we need to certify various forms. We are the one bridging the companies, the corporate, as well as the registrar of companies, like CA, CS, CWA, all the professionals. They are the one acting as a bridge. So we are using the MCA portal to incorporate a company to comply with the law. Then financial institution. Why should financial institutions use MCA portal? We will get into detail in later, but in a brief, the financial institution, whenever they are lending in some amount to the companies, they want to know what is the company, where it is located, already whether they got some loan or not, and who are all the director, how well the company is performing. They need to vigilantly, they need to ensure and evaluate the company before extending or lending any amount to the company. So the finance institutions also one of the major stakeholders, because it's involved with public money. Then researchers, like there are a lot of research papers from the ministry as well as the public researchers are doing. They used to get a lot of data from the MCA portal for their research. Then investors and general public. So investor point of view, they need to have because in the listed companies as well as in the small unlisted company, they will not be involved in day-to-day operations. Mostly like they invest the money in largely or whatever the amount they want, they invest and they will settle for they will not know what is the company is going forward, undergoing something, and they will not able to have. But as an investor protection, they have given a lot of features, and the investor can able to verify, the prudent investor can verify the company details with very small amount of pay. There are lot of services available for free. There are certain services on payment you have to do, and you have some certain login. These are all the stakeholders for the MCA portal. This is the MCA portal. From here onwards, I'm going to take you to the live MCA portal, and I'm going to show you. Yeah. This is the MCA portal. Just a second. Yeah. This is the MCA portal. This is how it looks. The mca.gov.in, that is the website. So we have various options in the first topper, and we have more features down also. So I'm going to brief about point by point. Like generally, we have the sign in the right top, wherein you can find the sign in. To transact any business as a registered user or business user, you have to use the sign in option. Then this is the about MCA. In about MCA, there are few hidden data that will help you. There is not in about MCA, you will get what are the roles and responsibility, where are the MCA headquarters, what are the mission documents. These are all to have some idea about the MCA. You can get those ideas here. And very importantly, the newsletter. The newsletters can help you in a better way. Like every month, they used to release a newsletter. If you click a newsletter, you will get amazing details. in the month of June, like what are the number of companies that are company incorporated, out of which how many is public, private, and what are the cases pending from the Competition Commission of India. In addition to it's covered under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, so they used to publish all those details in the newsletter, which can help you understand what is happening in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. And right to information. If you want to exercise any right to information act to get some data, you can use the right to information act and they will guide you. And achievements. In achievements also, they used to do if you get the monthly achievements of the ministry during the month, they will list down what are all the rules that they have been introduced, what are all the procedures that have been reduced or made for the betterment of ease of doing business, or what are the major changes. In addition to the newsletter, they also publish the major achievement. In about column, we can able to, what is the maximum that you can get is in the newsletter and achievements, you can get the monthly briefing of what happened in the MCA portal as well as in the company stack. That will be very useful for a student as well as for the professional. So other offices and affiliated offices that will be listed. Next, the very good asset of MCA, I will recommend is the ebook. The ebook you can use it in a very better way. In the acts and rules, they have given an ebook as well as in Companies Act in a PDF form. First, I am going to get about the ebook. So they have listed the acts. What are all the acts that are available in ebook form is Companies Act 2013, Competition Act 2002, LLP Act, Partnership Act, and it goes on. I am just going to Companies Act. The moment I get into the Companies Act, you can see the top listing acts, rules, forms, notification, circular, accounting standards, and other documents. Everything in a single window where you can roam around. You don't need to search in any other area. It is updated one, and you can use it in a very better way. You can able to search search the title. You can search content, and there is an advanced search. Wherein if you want to search an exact phrase, you got some section reference, so you want to verify it with the act, you can exactly match it with the exact phrase or with words or at least one word. So with this, you can able to search the act. More importantly, the Companies Act is getting amended at least twice a year. Some rules are getting amended, or for some acts are amended. So what they have done, they have given its amended form. If you get into section 23, this is the section 23. There is you can find there is an underline in few words. If you go and rover your mouse in that area, company means a company incorporated under this act or under any other previous law. What it is suggesting is, it is directly giving you the definition as specified under the act. You don't need to go to the section 2 or open the act to know what is meant by company or securities. See, wherever there are the definition that is reflecting in any of the text of the act, you just place your mouse. It will show you what is the definition it is. Next, what is the blue color? The blue color highlighted one, underline or the another section where it takes you. It is, if you click the 89, it will pop up. It will take you to section 8. So you are getting out of the section 23. You can able to check about the section 89. If the section 20, as the section 23 is interconnected with 89, 90, 127, you can just simply click on the section and you can know about the section. Moreover, what is this green color denotes? Green color means it has been replaced or introduced with amendment. How can I find when it got amended? I'm just zooming it for your better understanding. You can see there is number one. They will put inserted by Companies Act Amendment Act 2020 notification dated. They will give you the source. When it got the subclass 3 is amended, it is amended on 28 September 2020 via this act. You can able to get a better understanding that amended act with when it got amended and what is the amended section You can easily get the definition wherever you are reading or interpreting any law without moving anywhere. You can able to get the definition also. You can go to the relevant sections and procedures also, depending upon where it is listed. This is the one of the major feature that is available for with respect to ebook. As well as you can get it in PDF also. Like you have made some understanding in the section. You want to share it with your client or with your friend or for some research purpose. You can simply download. It will ask you want to download the complete act or current section. You click the current section. It will simply download. It got downloaded and just opening. It will give you the section with reference completely. This is the best you can get out of acts and rules. It has the Companies Act in full PDF format as well as LLP Act in full PDF format. Next, the My Workspace. This needs a login. Like this is a version 2 login. This is where most of us have been working for the very quite long period. I will show how it will look. My Workspace. Yes. Yes. Once you log in, this is the My Workspace screen. This is how it will look. Once you log in into a My Workspace using your credentials, registered credentials, this is how it shows. The upload e-form will help you to file the forms. Like earlier I have mentioned, like you have to download the PDF form in version 2. You have to fill all the details. You have to re-upload it after fixing the digital signature. You have to re-upload the form to MCA portal. The upload form is the feature where you can use, which you will use to upload the e-forms. Then notice and circulars. What are the circulars that have been listed? That is also available. My companies. What this mean by my companies? Listed here. Like in a login, you have filed, like for example, XYZ Private Limited. You have incorporated a company XYZ Private Limited using your login credentials. Then that will be listed here with company name and company SIN number. Like if you have filed some annual return for a company, that also will be listed here. Then subscribed report. In the right side, the Companies Act and LLP registered in last 30 days. The moment when you click the download, what you will get an Excel file with list of companies with SIN number and with where it belongs, what is the object, what is the address. In the last 30 days, what are all the companies that got incorporated, like public company, private company, like a license office of foreign company or subsidiary company, all the data that will be put into Excel, that will be downloaded. Then this is the upload e-form window. The moment I click the upload e-form, this is the screen that I will get. I will click the, I will browse the file and I will upload. There is one more feature, linked form. What is the difference between normal form? If you untick the linked form, there will be an option to upload only one file. If you click linked form, you are allowed to add more linked form. What is the purpose of linked form? In company incorporation, if you had any good, if you are able to have some experience in company incorporation, you will be knowing this. In company incorporation, there will be 4 to 5 forms, or 5 to 6 forms, depending upon the situation, that has to be jointly uploaded. Like you have to file the company incorporation form, electronical MOA, EAOA, and declaration, etc. You have to file those forms. You cannot upload on different instances. It has to be combined and it has to be uploaded. You can use the add more linked form and you have to browse the form, you have to upload. It's a single instance. Then what is the purpose of resubmission? You have uploaded a form. On verification, the Register of Companies or the CRC, Central Registration Center, found some discrepancy which has to be rectified. They will intimate you through mail. So on intimation, you don't need to repay the fees for the filing of form. They have some number of times that can be resubmitted. Within the time limit, you will be able to click the resubmission and put the SRN and upload the form. Then you have to know in the bottom of the screen, you can see the document. You can see the document. This is where when you subscribe for a public document, like if you want to get all the documents of the company, like as a public, it is available in public. There are certain documents are allowed to have by public view. There are certain documents are private. MOA, AOA, certificate of incorporations are public, whereas some few director related forms are private. So you can able to view what is the MOA of some XYZ company. You can simply search the form. You have to pay the fee. On paying of fee, the form will be listed in the document column. In the bottom of the screen, you can find the document. There it will be listed. It will be like valid for 7 days. Within 7 days, you have to download. Once you start downloading, within 4 hours, you have to complete the document. Within 4 hours, you have to complete the downloading the document. And for example, like listed company like Reliance or Tata Consultancy or etc., they have been filing very number of forms. You cannot able to download within 4 hours. On such case, they will like you have to raise a complaint. They will help you to allow you to download more than 4 hours, depending upon the case-to-case basis. And see, in the My Company, like in the My Companies, the company will be listed with a hyperlink. Once you click the hyperlink, this is the screen you will get. Like with regard to so-and-so company, what are all the forms that you have filed? What is the status of the form? And what is the SRN number? And everything will be able to get that. In the upload e-form, in the My Company, like in here, in My Companies, you will get the list of companies for whom you have transacted some transaction in the MCA portal using your login. Like if you have two different login, you have filed one form with another login and one form with different login. Like what are all the form that has been filed using a specific login, that will be listed. In this login, I have filed one form for a company on 30th June 2022. It is reflecting like this is the SRN number. This is the form ADT1 auditor appointment I have filed. This is the date of filing. This is the status of filing. You will be able to track the complete details of the forms here. Now we can move back to MCA portal. This is about MCA Workspace. Then MCA services. Once you roll your mouse to MCA services, there will be a pop-up. So these are all the list of services that are available under MCA services. How best you can use it? Like the first point is DSC, the digital signature. I have explained that the digital signature is the very key, very important enabler to authenticate the form, be it a web form or be it a normal PDF form, normal e-form, that has to be authenticated. You know about the digital signature. So how the ministry will know the digital signature is connected to you or not? Like for example, myself, Vedaraman, I got 2 digital signatures. And there is no restriction for you to have only one signature. You can able to get more than one digital signature, which is you are going to use to transact business with MCA. Like similar to bank. So you have to give a specimen signature with bank. They used to verify the signature while you passing some checks or not. Similar way, you have to upload your or authenticate your digital signature, which is the digital signature I am going to use with the MCA portal first. For this, you will be using the option Associate DSC. Once you click the Associate DSC, you will land in this page. In this page, you have different area, director, manager, and etc. In version 3, it is in a different scenario. You will be having a login and you will have a authentication process in different way. In version 2, like as a director, you can able to register your DSC against your director DIN number, the DIN number or DPIN number. And as a professional, as a practicing professional, you have to choose like you are belong to which professional institute, ICAI or ICMA. You have to validate yourself with your certificate of practice, everything. Then you are allowed to authenticate, register your DSC against this membership number. Like in e-form as well as web form, we used to provide our membership and certificate of practice number. If you are going to use any digital signature to sign as a certifying professional, that digital signature should be registered with MCA. Otherwise, it will show some pre-scrutiny errors. In detail, when you know that to troubleshoot, you need to update the DSC with the MCA portal. This is first one regarding for MCA portal. And there will be a question will write, I am not a practicing professional. I am not a director yet. I am a director of a proposed company under incorporation. How will I register my DSC? Then you have to register your DSC as a authorized representative. You have to use authorized representative, where you can find like you are allowed to tag your or attach your digital signature against the income tax PAN. Against the income tax PAN, you have to register the DSC. Then you can use it for MCA forms and E-forms. This is regarding to DSC service. Then DIN services, Director Identification Number. Relating to that, what are all the services that we have? DIN status. Like you can find out what is the status of the DIN. During the audit, in the audit report also, there will be a statement like none of the directors are disqualified, or we got the representation, or director is qualified or not. In section 164, or even go to the Companies Act, like on what are the situation director is disqualified. They should have a valid DIN number. So for example, I'm just searching a DIN number. It will give you like, what is the DIN number, what is the name, what is the status? It's approved, from when it got approved. You can able to get the director DIN number status. There is a next option, that is verify the DIN and PAN directory. This will be used when like you are using some E-form, wherein like you have to disclose your DIN number as well as PAN number. Sometimes there will be error will occur, like DIN and PAN are mismatching. On the situation, you can use this option. You have to put the DIN number. I'm just taking some random number. Sorry, that is no value. 695. Wherein it will ask you to put the PAN number. Once you put the PAN number and verify, it will show that the number is active or not. It is matching with the PAN or not. It will usually show. Next option is Director KYC Web. This is the web-based form. To transact this, you need login. In MCA services, wherever you find a log symbol, an icon, log, that requires login. So it's a common understanding that if you have any icon next to the option, you need login. Once you log in with your credentials, you will be able to file the Director KYC web form. It was already migrated to web form. It is since for last 2 years, it is web form. So every year, as per the amendment, every director has to verify their mobile number and communication details using the OTPs and verify the correct particular. Then what is the next best feature? Master data. In View Company Master Data, if you know the SIN number, you can directly enter the SIN number and search. If you don't know the SIN number, but you know the company name, you know like in news you are seeing like the Tata Consultancy Services has declared some dividend, or it's merging with some other company, or they're taking over. You want to know who are the directors, what is the company, where it is located. So you can search about this. In just company name, you can click the search button. Whenever you don't know the SIN number, but you know the company name, even you don't need to know the full name, even 3 to 4 characters will help you to search. So in company name, you can click the search button. A second. If you click the search button, there will be pop-up. I'm just putting Tata. Once I put Tata, there are 204 companies. If you see here, there are 204 companies. 204 companies with the name of Tata. So I'm just taking Tata 1mg, first company. Or I have to put the CAPTCHA or EATLE. The moment I get it, it will show like what is the SIN of the company number, what is the company name, which ROC it belongs. It belongs to ROC Delhi. What is the company's registration number? First, we need to know how the SIN number is we need to know besides the status of the PAN. Similarly, the SIN has some unique identification. The first letter U means unlisted company. See, whether listed or not, it's unlisted. Then the first letter will be U. In case of listed company, the first letter of SIN will be L. Then 24290. This is the industry where the company belongs. In the NIC code 2008, if you go and search where the company belongs. Next two letter is the ROC's identification state. It's Delhi, so DL. If it's Tamil Nadu, it will be TN. Next 42016. This is the year in which the company got incorporated. Date of incorporation is 6/7/2016. Here 2016. Then PTC. PTC means private limited company. Like PLC, public limited company. There are a lot of different acronyms and abbreviations where you can refer. Like PTC means private limited company. The last 6 digits is your registration number. You can find it here. This is the summary of it's an unlisted company belonging to 24290 industry, registered with DL, Delhi Register of Company. It incorporated in the year of 2006 as private limited company, having a registration number of 302634. It is a simple acronym. If you know this detail, by seeing the SIN number, you will be able to relate under which ROC registered and when it registered, whether it's listed or not, either private or not. With SIN number, you can able to decrypt the data. In the master data, you will get it in detail. And what is the authorized capital? What is the paid up capital that they have? What is the registered office? This is their registered office. And there is one more data. If the company is maintaining their books of accounts other than the registered office in either place, they have to declare it to register of company, because the register of company should make the investor aware that the books of accounts are maintaining in so and so place. So they are making it public, like in address where the books of accounts of the above mentioned company is maintaining. What is the company's communication detail, and when the last AGM happened? What is the last available balance sheet date? What is the status of the company? And in the status of the company, it is active. If it's under some investigation, there will be showing that under SFIO investigation or under insolvency process. So that will be listed here. Then charges. And what are all the charges that created against the assets of the company to get some financing? That will be listed here. What is the status? Whether it's closed or not. What is the charge amount? What is the date of creation of charge? What is the modification of charge? These are the data that you will get in the master data. Who are all the directors? From when they are directors? That will be listed here. You can able to print it, as well as you can able to export it. If you click on the DIN number, it will show on what are all the company. He is also a director. So common companies you will able to find. And when I come to audit, I will explain all this on the different perspective. Then index of charges. Then when the financial institution want to lend some money to a company, they will use this option. Like same, I'm using Tata first company, HEAING. So here they will know RBL Bank has given a loan of so and so amount to a company. Kotak Mahindra Bank given so and so loan. So here the financial institution able to know what are all the public. It's a public data. What are all the banks finance the company and what is the maximum amount a charge that has been created. The charge created against the asset of the company. If the company is approaching a bank to get some loan, the bank will know already you have pledged so much of asset with so and so bank. How can I provide you the loan? Either you close the loan and come back to me, or the takeover process has to happen, or they will reject the application. So before lending any money to a company, they will use the index of charge and who are all the it will have a history. Even if you borrowed the money and it got closed, that also will reflect, and it will be a history of loans. Using the index of charge, that can be identified. Signatory details. Who are all the directors and what is their designation? While filing the form, you need to mention the designation in the e-form as well as the form. If you fill like a managing director as an independent director or some other designation, it will throw some error. So ensuring that to avoid the error, you can verify that the director qualification under view signatory details. In MCA services, master data, in view signatory details, you will be able to verify that the DIN number in the Tata 1mg company, these are all the director, their designation is just director. They are not managing director or any other designation. This designation has to be used. What is the date of appointment? Whether the DSC is registered or not? What is the expiry of DSC? Like one director DSC is expired in the July month. Once they update the DSC, that will be updated. So who is the company secretary? Who is his PAN? And what is the status of the DSC? And in the viewed signatory detail will help you to pick the designation correctly in web form as well as e-form to avoid a lot of pre-scrutiny errors. Then director master data. So if you want to get some director master data, like you know some DIN number, you want to know in what are all the company he is a director. I am just taking some example. If you don't know the DIN number, you know just name. Then you can click, like you have to put the director or partner's name. I'm just putting my name. What is the father name? You have to put the date of birth. And if you put search, it will list you what are all the available, like name and date of birth with father name. What are the available search that are available? It will list. Okay. Once I put the data, it will show what are all the in companies, the director is director. The DIN is associated as director. And when the director is resigned from the company, these are the data that you will get. View partner or designated partner in detail. Like you will get a different perspective of the same report, but for this you have to do a login. As well as for advanced search, you have to do a login. Similarly for LLP, if you want to search some LLP, if you put some name, I am putting Tata, search. What are all the company and LLP that are available with the name? It will list. Once I put, it requires minimum 3 characters. I put 2 characters. It will say that at least minimum 3 characters you have to put. If I put TAT, it will search with 3 characters. I can improvise it. Tata. Then it will search. So based on that, it will provide 200 to 300 results. Even you can add more than one name and search using the check company name as well as check LLP name. Both services will work in a similar way. And upload e-form. That is a Workspace feature that I have shown you earlier. Check annual filing status of the company. This is what, like using your during some any other due diligence or as an investor, you can like whether the company is complying with or not, you will able to know. I'm just putting same Tata. Sorry, I entered another letter. Just Tata. Submit. It will list completely like what are the annual return, on what date they have filed, and what is the receipt, what is the SRN number. It will goes on. Like what are the public document that can be visible, that will be available in the check annual filing status. In check annual filing status will help you whether the company has filed the annual return or not. Next, upload security holder or debenture depositor details. For this, I have a screenshot. I think that will help you. No, I didn't have. Okay. So this option, upload here, upload details of security holder and debenture holder depositor. It is for like when you making an allotment of shares, like when the list is so long, the ministry has given an option like to upload the attachment, the list of shareholders or allottees in Excel form to upload with against your task 3, the allotment form or any other form. They have given an option wherein you can use this form to update the subsidiary company details. You can use this option. The Spice Plus is the web-based form used for incorporation of companies. That is a web-based form. Then here in company service, the check company name that we have already seen, like it will work similar to the LLP name. To check the SIN number of company, you can use find SIN. Spice Plus, that will be used for company incorporation. When you get into the technical section of Spice form, you will be knowing that how the Spice form works. Then reserve a unique name for LLP that is migrated to version 3. Now it is not working. CSR, corporate social responsibility form. Then compliance. In compliance, create a service related complaint. Like if you are using the MCA portal, you are transacting it for some web-based form, e-based form, e-form, and you are finding some errors or it's posing some error, you will be able to raise a complaint. You have to provide your name, details. It will ask that type of the basic detail. Everyone will know that what are the details that you have to fill. That type, whether it's relating to company or LLP or centralized registration center, or it's a suggestion or auction. If I choose company, it will ask the category. It is relating to digital signature. If you are not able to update your digital signature or associate your digital signature, you can choose the DSC service. Or DIN, if the status of DIN is showing in a different way or wrongly, you can able to use DIN. While filing, you are facing any trouble, you can choose e-filing. Similarly, you have an investor related, investor education protection fund. If you have any issues with that, you can use that form. You can use that services and using just DIN. It will show another category. It's related to DR3, it's related to OTP, or it's filing. They have designed this complaint form in a very such a expanded way that what are the possible area the error can happen. What are the common error? Like OTP related issue. Then it will show that whether the OTP is, first they will give you a suggestive option. Have you troubleshooted it or not? Still, if you want to confirm with, proceed with complaint, you can go with, and you have to choose the severity, high, medium or low. If it's very high, you have to choose high. If you know, only if it's required, if you know where it's go to, like if it's go for register of company or regional director or headquarter, most of the time it will be, you can leave it attended. So only if you know like where it has to go, you can choose that. You have to provide your description of the error with supporting form. Like you have to create a screenshot and you have to attach it. If it's against some company, you have to provide the company details and form ID against which form you are using. And if you have generated SRN, you have to put the SRN. Otherwise, you have to put NA and submit. You will get a intimation in mobile number as well as email ID, having a ticket ID wherein you can track the ticket ID, status of ticket ID. If you click, you have to put the ticket ID in mail ID, you will know the status of ticket. Mostly within 24 hours, they used to address the ticket. Even in my personal experience, sometimes like whenever we are using the logged in, once you are using as a logged in user, sometimes unfortunately we will close it. Unfortunately, sometimes we will close the browser accidentally. Or when you log in again, it will say the user is already logged in. You are not allowed to log in. Wait for some time. It will go on for more than few hours. Then you need to seek the help of MCA. After trying the technical clearing the cookies, etc., still the issue persists. We used to contact the help desk. They will help us. And serious complaint, investor related complaint, you have to file a form. And feedback or suggestion. Like if you have any feedback or suggestion, like wherein like a few area can be improvised, you have some suggestions, that also welcomed by MCA, that you can provide here. And the data, document related services in public document. This is the one area, it is a paid service. Like some of your clients is acquiring a company or is going for merger. You are doing a due diligence. You want to know what are all the forms that they have filed and whether they have filed it properly or not. You are doing some forensic audit or due diligence. This option will be very helpful for you. In MCA services, view public documents. Once you click, it will ask for the company. I'm putting same Tata. It will show list of company. I'm just selecting some company. It will show what are all the documents that you need. You can choose any one document and pay. You are allowed to download all the documents. I am just choosing annual return and year of filing 2021. Submit. So Tata Consumer Products has filed their AOC for annual return XBRL on 22nd July and annual return MGT7 on 3rd of August. I can add this company to the cart and it will ask you the login. Then I have to pay 50 rupees or 100 rupees and I will allow to download all the e-forms. With the e-form, you will be knowing that what are all the annual complaints and statutory complaints XYZ company that has complied. You will get all the PDF forms and you can use it for analysis. The view public document will help you in a very good way. While you are doing some forensic or due diligence as well as some research angle, even some if you want to do some research also, you can use the public document. You have to pay the 100 rupees or 50 rupees in case of LLP. The fee has to be paid. Only you have to keep it in mind is like the public document, which are the whatever the document the MCA considered that can be viewed by public, that you can able to download. There are few documents that are private and sensitive that will not be allowed to download. That you have to keep in mind. Then fee and payment related. Like there is a one nice option that is available in MCA, like while filing the form, you don't need to pay the fee at the same point in time. Like you can upload the form. The moment you upload the form, there will be a unique number, SRN will be generated. The number based on that, if you choose pay later, within 15 days, you have to make the payment. If you are in the last date of due dates, you can use like pay later. Mostly like sometimes the payment gateway might have some trouble. So what we used to do, like we used to upload the form, we choose the pay later option, and on later date, we used to pay the amount. So the MCA will consider that you have uploaded the form on like in 30th September is the due date. You have uploaded the form, you have chose pay later option. So you are making the payment on 4th of October. They will consider that 30th September as the date of filing. If you fail to make the payment within 15 days before October 14th, the form will expire. Your form will not be considered. You have to file the form again. So it will be considered as a fresh form. So you have to pay the late fees or penalty as the case may be. So pay later option will give you to upload the form without making payment. Sometimes the students might not have the payment option. What they will do, you will upload the form and use the pay later. Your audit manager or your office staff will make the payment using the SRN number. And NEFT. The NEFT form that is very less used like to make the payment for the forms. And track payment status. Whenever you are trying to file a form, like there may be a situation like your amount got deducted from your credit card or net banking, but the page went into some error. You want to track the payment status. You can track the payment status here. It will ask you to put the SRN number. Mostly the MCA will post you some standard data. You have made payment and the amount got debited. Please wait for 48 hours for the amount to reconcile. So don't make the payment again. Otherwise, it will get duplicated. You will have to file refund, etc. So you can track the SRN status here. You can download the acknowledgement here. So if the amount got not debited, but the SRN, the form got uploaded, but not went through the payment, then you have to go to the track SRN status. You have to cancel SRN. When the technical session, you will find that how to cancel the SRN. This is the brief. Investor service, investor protection firm related form, and data bank, independent director data bank. In companies that, like for certain company has to have a independent director. Excuse me, just sorry. As per the Companies Act, your company mandatorily has to appoint independent director to their board. Like there are few directors or professionals who are eligible to be an independent director. They can register themselves as a individual registration, and they can list themselves to a data bank. Like there is a data bank maintained by IICA, the Institute of Corporate Affairs. They are maintaining what is the professional, what is the qualification, what is the domain knowledge of the independent director. They will have a detailed director data bank. If a company has to appoint a director, independent director, they can pick a director if they want some, like if a finance company or a fintech company, they want some the independent director to be have some knowledge in finance domain. They can pick a fintech director in the finance domain director from the data bank. For that, for the individual or the director, they have to register themselves as individual registration. Company has to register themselves as corporate so that they will be allowed to access the data bank. For that, the ID data bank option will be used. Track SRN status. We have track payment status and track SRN status. The track payment status will help you to regenerate the acknowledgement receipt as well as the status. Track SRN status will give you whether it's approved or pending for approved or rejected. That's where you can find it, track SRN status. Then, public search of trademark. The public search of trademark will help you while applying the names, the company name reservation. As per the Companies Act and rules, the company name should not be identical with the approved trademark or etc. So you have to verify the name is matching with the trademark. In the version 3, the system itself, the moment you put some name, it is automatically using some permuted combination using the AI. It will list you what are all the similar trademark or similar identical company name that are matching with your proposed name. What you have to reconsider. In the version 2, you have to do it on your manually. Like I just want to know, like you can start with or contain or match. I'm just using Tata in category class number 39. For class detail, you can go for Vienna code classification or class detail. Know what are the class that are available under which you are coming under. The moment I put, it will show like what are all the trademark registered under Tata. Tata label, Tata housing, IG code Tata Bye-bye. So there are lots of trademark registered under the class. So you can able to know what is the status of the trademark. You click the trademark, it is owned by so and so person. What is the date till which it is used or it is valid up to. Based on this, you will be able to choose your name. So otherwise, you will end up with resubmission for your name reservation. Then notice search. Just a second. In MCA service, public search notice for 248. For stuck of company, like a register of companies of regional register of company used to issue a stuck off notice. Like in the last 2 to 3 years, there are lots of companies who are not complied the company law have been given notice and stuck off by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So, what are the list of companies that are stuck off or given notice? If you click this, maybe the notice type. I think it is not available now, but which ROC has been given the stuck off notice. This is relating to the MCA services. This is a very brief about the MCA services. In data and reports, you will have their annual reports. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs, like the Companies Act report on Nidhi companies. What are the Nidhi company? It's an older one. The company statistics. What are all the companies incorporated during the year? And RD and ROC information. See, this is what I am referring. List of company stuck off by, 26. Few days back, Delhi ROC have given a list of company, notice to the company to stuck off. They click, like they will listed, it will be available in Hindi as well as in English. Like this is the company the Delhi ROC have given the notice for striking and dissolution. The company, Flamingo company, is getting stuck up. They are giving they have to place it in public. They have posted it in website. You can able to search whether as Sri Priya ma'am said that in Caro, whether the company is having like any relationship with Tech company, like any related party, you can able to search whether the related party is listed in the Tech or not. Even in the master data, the company status will be shown as Tech. In addition to that, you can verify that when the notice got given. Then disqualification of directors. Who are all the list of directors disqualified, and the list provided by the concerned ROC will able to get the details. Who are all the offenders? List of offenders against which the criminal proceeding has been initiated. And in the data and reports, you will get all this RD and regional director and register of company information, which will be useful for your due diligence as well as for some mergers. E-consultation, this is the option that is getting implemented, wherein the ministry will place some data, publish data to get the public opinion. Then help and facts. This will help you. They have given a very detailed FAQs, like standard operating procedure as well as the FAQs, wherein you can use. They have given, and contact us will help you to give what are the help desk details and what are all the contact details that they are having. In addition to that, I'm moving to the use of portal for audit. Like in MCA services, I have given you a very brief and overview about what are all the MCA services that can be used. In use of portal for audit, how does the MCA portal can be used for audit? Like, let it be statutory audit or a bank audit, bank statutory audit, bank concurrent audit, due diligence or forensics. You can use the MCA portal as a very good tool for validating the data. See, for example, a new company is like a existing company want to change its auditor and approaching you for an audit, and you are going to take up the audit. As a part of initial audit engagement, you will have to understand, like you have to assess the risk of the company using the standards on auditing. You have to need few data. Like the moment the company have provided their name, you can go to the MCA master data as I shown earlier. You can able to search their SIN number, what is the complaint till last date. They are approaching audit for 2022. Have they uploaded their annual return up to 2021? If not, why they have not uploaded? The question will arise. It will help you to form an opinion. Like the company is very good with complaints or not. You will be able to identify those. And what is the authorized capital of the company? Like during the audit, like you are seeing some forms, relevant statutory forms with ROC to increase the capital. You go to the MCA portal, you search for the master data, you will get the authorized. If it's matching, it's Taka. So if there is any difference, the company is yet to make or yet to file the form with ROC. You will be able to know like a form has been filed or not, whether it's reflected or not. If the company is saying that we have filed the pass 3 form for return of allotment form, we have filed, but we didn't know like why the capital is not reflecting in MCA portal. If they are coming with some explanation, view public document, you will be able to know whether they have filed the PA3 or not. If they have originally filed, the form will be available in the view public document. If they have not filed, but they are just giving some excuse, we will be able to give a proper reply to the company or into a audit manager that the company said that they have filed the form, but I searched in the view public document, the company has not filed the form at all. This is the proof for that. They have an idea. Then books of account maintenance. In annual return, in AOC 4, they used to give like where are you maintaining your books of account, in manual form or in web form or cloud. In cloud, where the data server is located. These are the data will be captured in AOC 4. Like even as per the Companies Act, the books of account has to be maintained in the registered office. If not, wherever you are allowed to maintain at any other place, but it has to be reported. Even in the example that we saw, the company has reported that we are maintaining the books of accounts some different place, some next place. So, like any investor wants to verify the book as given power under AOA, like they can go to that address, they can able to verify the books. Whether the books of maintenance of address is properly updated or not, you will be able to identify. Using the master data, which is very publicly available, you can able to identify most of the basic detail that is used for audit. Then charge index. In addition to the financial institution, even we use the charge index. For what area? For Caro, as well as per the amended Schedule 3. In the Schedule 3, there are a lot of changes that happened in 2022, wherein you have to report whether the company has uploaded the charge related form, whether they have complied with the charge related complaints or not, whether they are providing proper data to bank or not. We have to address these points in Caro as well as in our financial statement. So you are seeing some loan has been taken from some X bank, some ABC nationalized bank. So you want to know whether the charge has been created. You are going through the document like a loan sanction document. You are seeing that an immovable property is provided as collateral to a loan. So you are just going to MCA data. If you find that the charge is available in the MCA data, it's absolutely fine. If it's not filed, you have to ask the company why the charge form has not been filed. Or the company has closed the loan and satisfied the charge. Then also you have to check the charge form, whether the transaction is closed or not, whether the charge form is filed or not. So the charge related complaint has been added to the Schedule 3, whether it has to be given as a separate line item. If the company has not complied with the charge form, they have to disclose it also. So the charge related complaints, you can verify it with the MCA data. Then signatory details. Who are all the board of directors? Who are all the signatory for the MCA? Like who are all the board? When you are verifying the board minutes or board meetings, who are all the resident directors or what are the other details that you are verifying, you can use the signatory details like, okay, these are the director. He has been appointed on so-and-so date, whether he has attended the meeting or not. That details, for that you have the base data from MCA portal, the signatory details. Who are all the signatory? Someone is signing some balance sheet, whether the designation provided in the balance sheet is correct or not, whether that is matching with MCA portal or not. Sometimes the company might have passed a resolution to change the director designation. Sometimes they might not have filed the form, but in financial it will be correct. Sometimes in MCA site it will not be matching. So we should ask the company, we should suggest the company to comply with the form. Director disqualification details. That is the very key area. Like whether the director is disqualified or not. In the audit report itself, we used to provide that whether none of the director are disqualified, or if any director is disqualified, we will provide the data and he has been vacated the office also date. So for that, we need to check the DIN status. Using the DIN status, we will be able to verify that whether the director is disqualified or not. The public document as explained in various situations, like it can be used as the complete data that you are downloading from the using the public document can be used in the forensic audits, even during the due diligence. It will be very absolute support. And verification of forms, whether the company is given you like signed form, like I have uploaded the PAS 3 or some form to you. We have uploaded the form. But if you want to verify whether this form is uploaded to MCA or not, you will use the public document, download the PAS 3, you will verify the form with the document that provided by your client. So whether it's matching or not, if the PDF is not matching, you have to ask the client why there is a mismatch between the form provided to you and the form filed with the Minister of Corporate Affairs, wherein you can arrive at some opinion. For data analytics, you can use the portal data. Other significant features of MCA portal, like earlier, the company will be incorporated, a SIN number will be allotted by MCA. That is the domain and area of the MCA. They are the regulator for the company. Whereas PAN and TAN will be done by Income Tax Department, For sales tax or GST, you have to approach the commercial tax or service tax department. Here, now it's GST. For you have to approach labor law. For PF, PSI, you have to approach various departments. You have to provide MOA, AOA, various declarations. Everything you have to do a duplicate process. So MCA come up with various features. Earlier, you have the incorporation will be done with MCA portal. Then they have given that. Then you are allowed to apply PAN and TAN in the MCA portal itself. You don't need to go to income tax portal. You can use MCA portal to apply PAN and TAN. Now in SPICE form, the integrated incorporation form, there is a form Agile. There is one form Agile. It will help you to get a PAN TAN. Now you mandatory will get PAN TAN along with company certificate of incorporation. It will be mentioned PAN number and TAN number in the certificate of incorporation itself. So without applying, without taking much of effort, within a day or two, you will get the certificate of incorporation, PAN, TAN. If you want to apply for GSTN, you are allowed to apply. GSTN is optional. You can apply for GSTN, but PAN TAN will be allocated. PF number and ESI number, the labor laws, PF number, ESI number will be allocated and communicated to the director. The moment, even if you go to the PF side, they will tell that once the statute limit is crossed beyond the threshold, you have to comply with the law. So it saves a lot of time to incorporate a company, set up the company with a proper infrastructure, like with the company, PAN, TAN, like for income tax registration, commercial tax registration, and labor law registration in a single window, without duplication of data, without much of effort and time. You can able to get the company incorporated. Then pay later option, I have explained it earlier. Refund of unsuccessful transaction, they have given a detailed manual using which you can apply. SRN is SRN. I used to mention the SRN, the service request number, that is unique for each and every transaction. For each and every form that you are uploading, that is unique number will be, service reference number will be generated. That will be used for all communication purpose. The MCA has straight-through process and approval service. There are two services. There are few forms that are just once you upload the form, immediately get the approval and acknowledgement. In the mail itself, in the communication, it will be mentioned that your form has been processed as straight-through process. So, if anything, if we found that the form has you have filed with a false statement or fraudulently, action will be taken under 447 or 448 Companies Act. There are straight-through processes like like self-certification basis. Once you upload the form, it is done. It's completed. It will approve. Like as CPR mentioned earlier, like it's a self-certification, self-regulatory. It's morely moving towards self-regulatory. There are few forms of approval services for incorporation services or register office change, or there are few forms of approval services where the manual intervention or officer intervention will be there. They used to verify the data and they will approve. For few forms, they will allow to resubmit the forms, like with number of times they used to allow you to resubmit the forms. And I just need to put one more point, like in the digital transformation are happening a very better pace actually. In addition to like to transact with MCA portal, absolutely we need to have a company tax knowledge. In addition to that, we should have a few technical knowledge, technology knowledge, like if you are encountering few errors, what are all the normal troubleshooting options that you should use, like how to clear the cache or cookies, how to reset the data, what are all the prerequisites of system requirement, what is the Windows version you have to use, what is the PDF Adobe version you have to use, what is the digital signature class you have to use. For using the digital signature, you need to install EM Signer. Income tax have EM Bridge, GST has DM Signer different version, and MCA has a different EM Signer version. You should install the EM Signer that should be actively running on. So in case of the troubleshooting, they have given the detailed pack where you can use to troubleshoot it. Still, if you are facing some issue, you can anytime reach for help to the MCA. They will be able to help you with solving the issue. We should be, as a student, as well as a professional, we should be like update ourselves in the area of technology. We don't need to know about technical coding or data debugging, etc. But we need to know, so far as our job is concerned, we should be very much aware about our technology perspective also. With this, I am wrapping it up, and I am just leaving way to Parth to take over to version 3. I'm just stopping my screen share. I think Parth can take over so that in last we can address the question. Parth? Yeah.
You are on mute, sir. Mr. Parth, you are on mute.
Yes, sir. So it was a very nice session, technical guide over the MCA website and its to-dos, what things we are already having this on MCA, and what features we do have and how we can use those features to comprehend our audits, and basically what we can do. We can get additional information without relying on client, or what we are generally using in terms of our audit subject. It's like having some other corroborative evidences. So going with this now, version 2, version 3 LLPs, and LLPs is the now hot topic today between the CA members and their student, their staff. So version 3 was implemented, as Sripriya ma'am and Vedraman sir already told. It was a pilotly implemented for LLPs because of their low numbers and the things. It was implemented on 8 March, and it gave me immense pleasure to inform you that as per the MCA data received, around around 50,000, more than 50,000 forms has been filed on the MCA portal using the LLP3 version. So I will just give you a brief about what is LLP version 2 and what was the LLP version 2, and now what are the changes, what has changed in version 3. So I will share my screen with you all. So I think, is it visible?
Sorry to interrupt, Parth. Actually, students are asked to put, if they have any questions, they can put the questions.
So, dear students, or what I can say, fellow future chartered accountants, you can ask your queries. You can drop your queries in the query box. What you are having in your live sessions. If you can drop their queries, we will attend to all together. So coming back to version 2, version 3 query, version 2, version 3 issues. So what we have. So version 2 was an earlier portal of MCA, which gives what we used to earlier used to do as download the form from MCA, fill up the form, pre-fill the data using pre-fill and fill other details, made the amendments, and then upload it again using detail signature to the website. And that is the process the form now we uploaded is processed by the department or the MCA. So there time many things are there. There are some issues, and as a part of the upgradation, MCA has upgraded its portal to V3. One of the most important feature, or we can say most unique feature about this V3 is that it has made the company forms, as we are earlier using company forms as a web form. It has made LLP forms also as a web form. For incorporation of company, we are using Spice forms, and for incorporation of LLP, we used to fill Philip forms. So Philip has to be downloaded offline, it has to filled offline, and then it has to be uploaded. But as of now, but in case of company, Spice form is altogether a web form. We have to just fill the data, fill the basic details. It get pre-filled automatically. So it is like that. So what is version 3? Version 3 is an upgraded version of V2. It is implemented in phased manner, and we have already implemented version 3 for LLP portal, and now we are, I think, in some of the days it will be going forward for companies also. So whole company for some of the forms it has to be rolled out in next few days for companies also, and it is going to be companies also and ahead. So user registration and login. Basically, the process has been changed for user registration. What was earlier practice that we used to follow in V2, that there is a single ID of firm or a partner or some person from there. We used to file all forms from there. But in V3, there is a specific user ID for everyone, as like income tax. In income tax, we have separate PIN number for director, separate PIN number for company, separate PIN number for the authorized representative, or we can call it as CA, ARCA, or professional members. So same has been implemented in MCA V3 portal. There are separate IDs. We can term them as users, business users and registered users. There are registered users. Now, what is business user? Business user are CA professionals, CACS or CWS, and directors of the company and company who can fill their form. So there is a separate login for every person in a company format. So that is one of the important developments what we have done in V3 portal. Apart from this, for registration of DSC, it has to be done. Earlier, it was through direct portal. You can go down the portal and register DSC. Yes, it is still going on. The process is, because the site is it is in migration phase, so process is in the company MC has allowed it to be filled up offline in earlier version or current version also. So, but going forward, it will be like for every registration of DSC, you need to have a separate login ID for every person. So this is one of the important features. So an online filling of online web-based form, which enables user to not to download it. It save the data. It save the what we can say space, and the data is online. I can it is not dependent on the system we are using. That data on there only. I can fill the form at my home also, at my convenience. So data is on the portal. Now, going towards, I will just quickly go through this PPT on the relevant portion. There are two types of users as defined in V version 3. One is registered user and business user. So, going back, if I am this is like if I am a new user who is never present in V2, there are two types of cases what can be happen. Either I'm a new user or I'm an existing user. I'm earlier using it. If I'm a new user, I may be registered user or business user. Business users are classified in three types: director, professional, and company LLP users. And existing user, so we will cover it in later part. So what you have seen earlier, as Vedraman sir told us, what we are earlier seeing that there is a My Workspace portion for company filing. But for LLP filing for version 3, we can see My Application portal, My Application tab. We can see all applications filed for LLP through this tab. So this is a login page. In this slide, you can see at the right-hand side corner topmost, you can see sign in, sign up option. Then if you are using it for LLP, you can just put your details and login. And if you are using for company as for V2 portion, so you can click on login for company filing. It will take you to the earlier version of V2 portal. For going towards this registration process of if I'm a registered user, I just need to select click on registered user. I have to use my user role as individual and give my PAN number. However, PAN number is not mandatory for registered user because it may be used for students also. It can be used by students also. So basic details like first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, gender, profession, industry of operation, and address and other basic details. This is for registered users. So this portal is made so proper in terms of data fetching. If you enter proper pin code, it will fetch state, city, and give you drop down of nearby localities. So you have to just select the proper pre-filled options. So you have to just give your basic details, a password, user ID, and you have to set a password and hint questions. And after you will getting a OTP, you will be registered as a registered user. Registered user has a very limited use. You will just get some details, and not much of filings and forms are happen to. I think nothing of five forms are filed over from this registered user. You have to migrate to business user for this filing of forms. So coming to business user, if it is a director, you have to just select the director as a user role. Clicking on business user. On clicking on business user, you will get around 3 to 4 options: director, manager, secretary, officer in default, and professional. So in professional, there is one more area what we have introduced as what MC has introduced as a professional staff member, of which Shripriya ma'am was talking. So you can just give the details of your basic details. If you are a director, you have to just give your PAN and DPIN number, and much of the details are going to be pre-filled by using your details. These are the basic details. Then you will be getting 2 OTPs, one on email, one on mobile. Using these OTP, you can register a person as a director. Directors and professionals are only the business users who are allowed to form files such as Form 11, Form 8, which are open only for business users. Now going towards this business user, professional user, which is most usable for us. Professional user, giving our PAN number and professional ID, membership of institute, whether I'm a member of ICAI, ICSI, or CWA, and professional membership number, so that it can link the records from its base records. So basic details. It is asking some professional and industry of operation. I request everyone while filling up the forms, you should provide correct details, because this data is later used for analyzing, and it will give result that how many of the business users are of this profession, or how many of users are of this field, belong to this industry of operation. So this will later use in analyzing, and it may happen that if you will give here wrong details or some general details, it will hamper when you are filing the form. Now profile basic details continued, and this after you will be getting a registered user, or there are the same process, OTPs. You will be registered as professional user. This is a professional user can be used only by CS members, professional members. Now, if you want to create an ID for company, the PAN number is mandatory. You will just create an ID and fill up the basic detail. It will fetch the basic data from MCA portal itself, and there will be 3 OTPs in this case. 2 on the email ID and email ID and mobile number as provided in form, and 1 is on the mobile number of director, which we have registered earlier, or which has been in the MCA records. So if you are planning to go on the registration of company as a user, then I urge you first to form a proper registered director, so that it will be an easy process. Now you will be getting this type of response. So username, in case of a normal user, it is just your email ID. In case of company, it is your SIN number or LLPN number. So this is the new point, professional staff, what we are talking about. Shripriya ma'am has also talked about. So since all of us know that in every office, none of the members are actually doing this. Very less number of members are actually involved in the registration process in the portal. We generally article or the trainee staff are doing this registration for their own on the portal. So what MCA has created a separate thing as a using of professional staff or login ID. Who can be the professional staff member? Who as anyone who has a staff joined working with any member of professional member of ICSI, ICAI and ICWI. It can be the trainee, articleship trainee, or it can be the non-professional members. For example, in some of cases, if it may be some office staff who is registered as member. So it can be a business user member. So you don't need any professional membership number for required audit. This is like the organized step will be like this, that one of the professional user is there. There are CA XYZ, CA ABC is there, and professional staff member 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be in his line. But one thing to be noted, that all of the professional staff members have the all filing done by professional staff members is the ultimate responsibility of the professional user only. It's members only. So all your filing doing on the behalf of your principal or your trainer, your partner. So you may be registered as a professional staff member for ease of convenience of filing, but all the filing responsibility belongs to CA professional only. So same process, clicking on signing up, going to register, and this professional staff member. PAN is optional here because every trainee doesn't have PAN. It is not required. So you have to give the professional staff professional user detail, either if he is of ICI or he is of CS Institute or CW Institute. So basic details: name, mobile number, address, and passwords, and hint questions. For the hint question, I suggest you to strongly suggest you to please keep hold of it because it is very difficult to reset this hint questions and hint answers. So it will create a lot of trouble while if you forgot your password and forgot your hint answers. So I suggest you to keep a track of your hint answers. It will be very useful if you forgot your password. So in this case, there will be two different type of OTP. One is on email ID and mobile number of article or the trainee staff, and another one is on the mobile of professional staff. So it will be authenticated from there only. You will be registered as professional now. Going back to our slides, if I am already registered as V2 member, so what we have to do? We have to just update our profile using my existing credentials. If I am going to this login ID, earlier I was using as XYZ and password is ABC. So I will just put it. The screen will automatically give me this screen. So I have to just migrate toward my migrate my details from registered user. Earlier I may be registered user. I have to move business user and provide the details. If I'm a director, so director details. If I'm a professional member, so members details. But these are details to be provided, and basic details, other details to be confirmed. One of the important points to be noted here that is this version 3 portal allows one email ID for one user ID. It doesn't allows many of the one email ID towards many of the users. So if you are getting an error that this email ID is already exists, you have to change this mail ID because it may be happen that this mail ID is already registered with some other user ID. Unless and until you won't do this, you won't be able to successfully file the forms. So after you prefill the data, it is like completion of your updation of your profile towards this. Sorry, just a second. So here we are. Your profile has been updated. In case of you forgot your password, just you can put your email ID. There will be one OTP. There are two types of verification. One is OTP verification, another is DSC verification. You can put over any of this and answer and hint question. That's answer on hint question is very mandatory in case of for you forgot your password. So that's why I suggested you to keep a track of your hint question answer. Associate DSC. This is one of the important features what I earlier talked about, that every user has to be separately log in and for registration of DSC. Only in case of professional user, they can register some other DSCs also. So digital signature, one of the important thing nowadays, because no form, as Vedraman sir already told, that no forms can be filed as of now without digital signature, even in income tax, even now in Companies Act also. Earlier also, it is not possible. So currently, the MCA has allowed using without login registration of DSC, but when the actual process is, in case you want to go to this MCA services, you can see the Associate DSC on the tab. When you click on Associate DSC, please ensure that your EM Bridge signer for MCA is running. And if you are not having, you can download it and run from here. You can get the tokens and your DSC can be registered easily. So if you want to update your DSC, you can select on yes. There may be chances that I may have two different registered DSC for ease of my filing convenience. So for every time I have to file a form, I have to update my DSC. So this is all about this MCA version 3 portal. And I will just let you slide over this MCA portal over the new form. So this is like earlier. This is the earlier version of MCA. Now, when we click on my application, this is my login ID. So when you click on my application, you will be getting some details of all your filed forms. And now coming to our DSC services. So these are type of forms which you can file for LLP. For example, Philip form. So this is a Philip form, which if your name has already approved, so when you will enter your proposed name, approved name, it will slide you to all of the details. It is very easy as of now. It is like company's spice form, which we used to file earlier. Now, all other things have been moved towards here for LLP related things have been moved here. So you can file Form 3, Form 4. Form 8 and Form 11 are the annual filing form for the LLPs. So what we used to file for statement of accounts, Form 8. You will just need to put an LLPIN number over here, and all the basic details has been will be auto-populated. So this is what we can say. This is the new version for filing of MCA forms. Going with this, I just conclude this one V2 V3 session, and yes, there are issues over this. This filing, there are glitches for filing of this, but what we have seen in these days for going for in back of the times is due to wrong filing of details by the members or the staff. Because if we fill the wrong details in case of we feel if it is required that place is to be returned, so it is to be city. If wrong data is input, so data will be out wrong, given as output wrong. So this is the case. Now, yes, migration issues were there, but now the portal is running very fine, and as I told you earlier, that you can also see around many of the forms has been successfully filed up, and MCA is going to launch this first set of company forms by 31st August. So I wish you happy filing for this, and just want to conclude this session. And I will request students to post their queries in query box so that we can take them further. So Vedraman sir, I've got some queries. I'll just start shooting them to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So one query is for BOS team, technical team. Sir, if possible, please make separate playlist for all of these modules on YouTube, depending on the nature of video, so we can access in better way.
Yes, sir. We have noted this and we'll be taking care of it, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So questions are from Sumit sir. Why in latest from Sumit sir? Why in latest MCA portal all details of director are not available in master data table?
In latest portal.
Yeah. I think Sumit sir, it has been there, and yes, there is a short technical glitch while upgradation, but
sometimes
now it is
showing.
But now it is available fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So
it's mostly due to the transitional issues.
Yes. There was some error in transitional issues, but now it is working fine.
It's working fine.
Okay. So another question: does ebook automatically updated time to time on as and when it got amended?
Actually, as soon as the amendment passed in the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and it's notified. So it will take another 10 to 15 days. They used to update in the ebook, which is the current and live one. They used to give the link to the amended data, like what is the notification that has been published and in the PDF form, so that you can refer back also. So they will give you like what is the existing data before the amendment, what is the data that was available, what got amended or inserted. That also different. You can able to appreciate the difference in the ebook portal. So it is very well updated and it's keep on updating. They used to update, like we cannot pinpoint and say that they used to find update in 48 hours or 2 days, but it quite often they are updating. But it is reliable. We can watch for that.
Okay. So next question is, whose credit card or debit card should be used to pay the fees? Can it be a CA or CA article? Or the client?
It's not about like who has to pay. Like there is no mandatory like it has to be paid by client or professional. It depends upon the practices of the firm. Some firm used to choose to like pay later option. They used to give to the client and they have to pay it by the client. Sometimes or most of the cases it will be paid by the firm. They used to have a separate account or whatever. It used to be practical. So there is no relevance guided tour of MCA to this credit card.
Right. So another question, sir, Vedraman sir, how this is on that how you used your MCA portal and how was MCA portal in your articleship days and your initial days?
Actually, I'm a science graduate, shifted to CA stream as a direct entry student. Initially it was a Greek and Latin for me, like tax, laws, etc. But initially I had a very good love and interest towards law. Generally, as a part of my opticalship period, I used to check all the regulatory websites like MCA, income tax, as well as all the regulatory websites on day-to-day basis. What are all the changes that used to happen? And I have some interest towards technology also. So whenever like they are implementing any transition, I used to roam around. Like whenever I have some free time, I used to go and click what is this associate DSE. Like there are more features in the MCA portal which you cannot like refer like page number 5. You go to dense status. You cannot do like that. It has to be practiced. Like only also like all of the students will not get an exposure to all the area. Some will have experience with incorporation form. Some will have LLP form. but we have to collaborate it, like as a student circles, like we have to like share our experience. We don't need to share the client information, but we can share our experience. In a similar way, like when I started my articleship, like the 2013 was introduced, and it was migration from 1956 to 2014. Whereas there are few sections where effective based on 1956, and there are few sections are effective based on 2013. We should have a proper grip. Like we used to regularly follow whether they have notified any section or not. Even in the portal, like I have given in the, I missed to show you that. I will share the screen and show this. Just please allow me that. Yeah. In the home page, they have revamped the page. Actually, here, this is the notification is update is the key area for the students to look for regularly. Like it is updated on day-to-day basis. Like the what's new will have like all the amendments or notices, lot of more area, like SFIO notices issued, like kind of information will be like that. And in latest news, this is where the amendment forms and everything will be posted here. So as soon as some amendments has come, like 23.6, there is a removal of registration, check-off related rules have amended. So I used to click the rules and I used to roam on the rules, what is updated. As during the articleship period, if you are going to follow this notification on day-to-day basis, it will be easy for your final preparation also. Like law, if you practice on day-to-day basis and you update yourself on day-to-day basis, you can clearly, like without any difficulty, will ace with exemption. Like for this, because you cannot load all your amendments and data in within 2 months or 3 months into your head. But it has to be periodically updated. For this, I have used this latest news update. So wherein I will able to, this is the authenticate source. Like there used to get like date got extended, everything. We used to get some marked images in WhatsApp groups, everything we used to relate that. But unless otherwise there is something is not hosted in the MCA site, we won't believe it. Even in my articulation days, I used to come to the MCA portal directly and verify in my own self, like whether it's posted here or not. And in this, like whatever the amendments that are posted, that will be posted here. And in important updates, is there any system maintenance? Like they are going for system maintenance. Generally, they used to update like a system is going for maintenance from this time to this time. Stakeholders are planned accordingly. They used to put the data. Similarly, this is the very important update that is available in the screen, because the LLP migration did not affect our profession. Like it affected, but not all of the professionals are having exposure towards LLP. Whereas company exposure, most of the practicing professionals will have. Like they didn't experience the version 3 of LLP so far. But when you hit the reality of version 3 of company, definitely transitional is just going to be happen. But we should be prepared for that. Actually, they have notified that so from August 31st, it's moving to new V3. August 31st, they are going to stop the V2. So we should be prepared. As well as while migrating to LLP, they have announced it earlier, like you have to update the DSC well in before, so that during this period, you will not be able to update the DSC. Wherein most of the people fail to forget the DSC, update the DSC, faced 1 month time to update the DSC. So they have given some other links to update the DSC. So the important updates, at least twice at 2 days once or 3 days once, students have to visit, as well as it should be a regular practice for firms to verify the data in the portal, so that they can plan accordingly. Like the DER3 KYC form, DPT3 form, and charge form. You cannot file it after 31st August in old e-form. So even some of the offices we used to prepare the form, we can keep it for pending for approval or concurrence for client, or sometimes the client might be prepared, might not upload it. So that will go in vain. The process will go in vain. So you have to redo everything in the new portal. Also, I think the V3 portal, registration for V3 portal is working smoothly now. So it is better to register the companies, directors, or professionals who have not registered yet. It's better right time to register themselves and validate their login, so that once the new portal begins, like we don't know like whether annual return going to be uploaded in V2 or V3, and what are the challenges that we are going to face. before that we should make sure ourselves to prepared for the situation. So I used to follow the important updates and videos. They used to put like whenever the changes happen, they used to provide the basic demo video generally. So it may not be very detailed and technical, but it will address most of the common troubleshooting problems. It will help you. So I used to like use this area. And notices, like this is the notices to provided to company. With this, you can able to identify like what sort of actions are taken by the MCA, like how the MCA is proceeding with in practically how they are approaching, what is the trend in the situation that can be addressed. And circular, there are, in addition to notification, there are few clarification circulars that can applicable to you, or sometimes it might applicable to your clients. The circulars will help you. And recent reports, they used to submit the reports like the committee reports which they have placed before Parliament. They used to give that. Even press release, that will get. And there are a lot of vacancies for qualified say on contractual basis in MCA. There are a lot of in SFIO. They used to put the vacancies. Some people might have interested in like they want to do some kind of how to get into MCA. They don't have any idea about how the things go. There are a lot of opportunities also available. The MCA site, when you use it in proper way, it's a very valuable asset from my point of view. So I used to, on an average weekly, I used to spend 1 hour in MCA site to like for one thing to update the subject knowledge. The company tag, how it's amendment. During the 2014, 15, 16, at the time, very peak time where we used to amendments and notifications used to come quite often. So it was very important for us to keep us updated and to explore the feature to how to validate, like as you mentioned in your session, like independent and corroborative evidence. That's a valued most. Like even if client is going to give some paper, we need to verify and vouch ourselves independently. Like if the student knows where to validate the DIN number, how to validate the company data, that will be very great. So for that we need to use, like if you have some good spare time or less time, you can explore, like you can search the DIN number. Like as a part of company check, the director are restricted to have limited. So they can have maximum number of directorship. And what is the limit? So if you want to verify that, you can put the director master data. You can know in what are the company they are director. At any point in time, whether the limit is exceeding or not, you can able to get it for your audit evidence also. So the MCA side, with this also, whenever even I used to go to whenever I go for bank audit, whenever we do some loan evaluation of a corporate, definitely we open our MCA site. We just verify the master data, whether it's matched with KYC, like this document signed by the application, signed by the applicant, whether the person are authorized available in the list of MCA, whether it's mismatches. So how the person got the authorization, whether it's sufficiently authorized by the board, whether the resolution approved. So these are the data, then I have to dig up. So when the corporate or LLP comes into our picture, the MCA is reliable too. So immediately we go for like whether whatever the loan that we have given, whether the charge was created from the point of your bank audit, whether the charge created or not. We used to verify that. Okay, the charge is created. Whether the charge modified, maybe they gone for some, during the COVID, most of the, not all of the, maybe all of the banks given the COVID relief additional 20% extra. For that they have, most of the banks created the charge. Whether that updated in the portal or not, we need to check because the charge related forms are very crucial and it's very, you have to comply with time. Otherwise, it leads up to a penalty. Like within 30 days, you are not going to pay. It's going to, you have to give the valid reason. You have to give the continuation. It's going to open a bigger Pandora box. So whenever we go for even for a bank audit, we just open the master data and we do that. Even like during my articleship days, I got an opportunity to be a part of a due diligence audit. During the audit, then only I got to know like there is a view public document wherein we can independently verify all those documents. I used to file the document. I thought it will be stored in the MCA site. I didn't know that it can be viewed by public. So whenever we filing the form, like it's stored in the MCA portal. So we should be very careful in attaching the attachments, filling the form, everything. We should be very careful. During the due diligence audit, I understood that there are so many data that is available in MCA which can be used. Like that changed my approach to the MCA site. And moreover, you should have a approach and attitude like exploring option. Like you should like what are the best option? Like for director master data, there is an open like you can view it as a public. There is one more option which has to be you have to log in and view. There are two different reports, but most of the data will be common. Once you log in, you will get additional data. So only if you do on trial and error basis, you will be able to identify. This is the set of features that can be used. So it is one self initiative to explore. So let it be income tax site or let it be MCA site. So we should be very proactive to accept the transition. That's how I approach actually.
So adding towards what Vedraman sir has already told, that MCA site should not only be used to see that whether due dates are extended or not. It contains much of lot information which can be used. Exactly.
That's what right. Only for verifying the extension notification, we don't need to use it. We can use it for many other purposes.
Yes. So, one more thing, what I can add over this, in MCA site, in current income tax relating to the income tax, in current income tax forms, we have to report whether the person for which we are filing a return is a director in any company or not. We can verify this information given by client using MCA portal, director database, what Raman has already told us. So, sir, giving you second question.
Wait. Before that, I want to add one more point. As you mentioned, like about the income tax, sometimes the client might forgot about the DIN number, etc. For that, you can go and search the DIN number based on their name, date of birth, and father combination. Whether you can able to find that whether he is in the database or not, first DIN database or not. So using the DIN number, you can list down on what are the companies he is a director. So that can be used to, sometimes client might not remember DIN number or they know they are director. They might not know what is the DIN. So that has to be taken care.
Yes. So there may be cases, we have seen across some cases where client is not aware that he is holding some shares or he is in director of any of the company, because those were in early days. But the record what we have to do.
Yeah, that is the best for the digital, because if it's in a manual form, you have to visit the ROC in head office so that you have to give the data. Even the last data filing, you will not able to get the data. So now using the digital technology, we could able to pull all the data and make sure the compliance happening in the best way. So if the client is not going to tell, we are not going to report, but we can what the extra step we are taking and how we are better complying with. That's the point we have to say.
If client is not giving the details, just pay 200 rupees to MCA. They will give a whole history and whole what we can say kundli of that client.
Yeah. Even like for public document, you have to pay. For most of the services, the master data and all, you don't need pay at all. You have the PAN data, you have the first name, last name, date of birth, father name. This is sufficient to roam around the MCA site, without any registration and login. So that can be used.
Right. So, sir, one more question. Whether there is feature for getting a PAN number of a company. How I can search a SIN number through a name. Okay. Can I get a PAN number or TAN number of the company using MCA website?
In MCA website, in public document, in the filed public document, like in MGT7, there used to be, they used to fill that a PAN number where you can get. I don't think in public you cannot get the PAN number. Directly using the SIN number, you cannot get the PAN number. Paying 100 rupees, you can download the MGT7. But in MGT7, they will be mentioning the PAN number. NAVOC for MGT7. So where you can get indirectly. So directly you cannot get the PAN number.
Okay, sir. So the next question is, what is the process of registering the name of company or LLP?
So there are two different processes. Company is in version 2. LLP is in version 3. In version 3, run form is happening, and in company, Spice. Company, you have an option. You have reserve a name and proceed with company, or you can straight away have, if you are very sure about that, your company name is unique, it is not identical, it is as per what is available with the company's authorized to incorporation rule, it is matched with rules. You can go ahead and without, you can save the 1,000 rupees and you can proceed with registering the company. Otherwise, for company, you have to use the Spice form. Spice Plus, now it's Spice Plus. You have to use the form. It's a web form. Even for LLP in version 3, as Parth sir said, it's in version 3, it's LLP form. You have to submit the form with fee, required fee. The name will be approved. But both are web-based form. But one is in version 2, one is in version 3. Because before they change into version 3 for web form for all LLP, already version 2 has a web form like Spice Plus and DR3 KYC. We know how it's operating. So once you have an experience with Spice Plus web form, it will be easy for you to process the LLP form. But only thing, the technical glitches you have to face. That we need to undergo.
Sir, next, sir, want to add some part on the PAN part we earlier discussed.
Yes.
If you will pay, I think it will be available in some certified document, public documents on payment.
Yes.
So if you are willing to get the PAN number of that company, you just have to pay 200 rupees or 100 rupees.
100 rupees. 100 is there. For one company, 100.
Yeah, 100 rupees and the requisite fees, and you can check whether any of the form contains that PAN number, and you can use that details.
Yes, mostly in MGT7 it will be available. If they see, first I have given the in MCA service check filing status. I have checked annual filing status is the option I have shown. In that you can able to see that whether the company has filed the MGT7 first or not. It's a newly incorporated company means. Still, you can go and get the certificate of incorporation. Certificate of
incorporation, which contain PAN number.
PAN and PAN. So absolutely, you can able to search on that.
So it is not available FOC. It is on payment basis.
So from 2019, if I'm correct, in the Spice Institute 2019, so you will the certificate of incorporation will have the PAN and PAN.
Contains.
Before that, if they incorporate before, definitely they would have filed at least one MGT7. Fortunately, so from that you can able to get the PAN. Moreover, regarding to the Spice forms and the Spice and the name reservation, see, whatever the form and process in the help and facts section of MCA will give you most of the well-addressed FAQs, like what is the system requirement, what are all the data that you have to know, what is the Spice form, how many resubmissions you are having, what are the checks, multiple checks that you do have. That is very good asset that is in help and FAQ. Even you can refer that also in detail if you want to go in detail. Company incorporation service and LLE incorporation service, we have to detail how to incorporate a company itself. We have to list it down.
Okay. So next question is, I am a registered user in V2 portal. Whether I have to go in migration process, my mail ID and credentials will be changed, or how I can approach the migration?
I think Parth can answer this.
So I have told it earlier in my PPT presentation also. As and when you can use this earlier V2 login credentials in this V3 portal equally. In first time login, you will get a profile update screen where you have to update your email ID and the other relevant details. After updation, the profile will be updated, giving 2 OTPs. And afterwards, you can use your email ID as a login ID and a password, what you have set as a password. So I think that will suffice this question. Coming to next question. Sir, there are many issues we are facing while filing the company and the other forms or related to this technical challenges, what we can say. That many times DSC won't run, many times catches, what we can say, catches are there, and many cookies are there. So we get many times payment got stuck. So how should be a person who are filing should be good at technical side to resolve these queries and fill the form at one go?
I would reiterate, like, we don't need to be like tech savvy and all, but we should know at least basics of the browser, how it operates, and what are the basic system requirements that we need to have. Like if you're transacting something with MCA portal, you should have like proper the Windows 7 or later that should be live. The RAM and system recommend that everyone will have, most of the system will have. But MCA EM signer, that should be available. It should be in the dashboard. It will be in the time in the desktop near to that time stamp. You will have that EM signer running. So sometimes what used to happen, we used to the GST EM signer also will be running. EM bridge also will be running. As well as they used to run the EM signer of MCA. Most of the cases they used to run simultaneously. They will be accessing different ports of Windows. Sometimes what used to happen, on default stage, the DSC might not, there is some error using picking the DSC. Please restart EM signer. When the error occurs, we used to close all the EM signers, exit the EM signer. We used to run the EM signer of MCA as administrator. Like most of the problem will be solved when you operate your system as administrator. So administrator will have a very good power in the system. So that will solve most of the DSC picking issue. And you need to know what class DSC that you are using. Whether the DSC taken against the PAN, sometimes the foreign directors might not added the PAN to the DSC. They might not using some other criteria. So whether the DSC that they are using is proper, is whether it's an entity DSC or not, that angle we need to be very sure about that. So most of the problem like Control Shift Delete, that will help you. And sometimes even if you change some setting, restarting the system, that is the first solution is to try before checking some other issue. Like clearing the caches and cookies will help you to save. Like sometime you might be logged in the system, like a user already logged in. The system will not allow you in the same system. So you can try with other system, or you have to clear the cache with the existing system. Like most of the system requirement that is available in the FAT of MCA portal, but the common sutra for the solution is clearing the caches and running as administrator. Even you have to run the browser as administrator, will able to pick the DSC related issues. So this is the basic tech you need to know. Then and all, like regarding to Adobe closing, Adobe automatically stop responding. That all depends upon the system. That has to be taken care by the system administrators. But with related to website, this has to be taken care. Sometimes if you have a VPN, whether it's allowed or not firewall related, you have to check whether the site is in approved or secured site, allowed site. Sometimes in the Internet Explorer, in permission, in security settings, it is approved or not, in permitted or not. We need to check that. Before only we have Java, wherein like lot of configuration we need to make. After the EM signer came into picture, there are very technical involvement. So this can help.
So by this, I think we can conclude for the today's session. I request students and the attendees for this session that if they have any query, you can raise your query to SSEB Board of Studies, SSEB Board of Studies, ICI. Team will be happy to answer all your queries. And if you got any some specific MCA related query, you can first shoot your query to MCA call center. And also you can give this your query to SSB Board of Studies. So over to Amrita ma'am.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone present online. I would take this opportunity to thank our respected Vice Chairman, Sri Sridhar Mubalaji, keynote speaker and council member, Sri Priya Ji, for their knowledgeable guidance. It is an honor for me to thank you all dignitaries. On behalf of the Student Skills Enrichment Board of Studies Operations, I would like to thank all students present online in the webinar. Secondly, I would also like to express my gratitude to our eminent speakers, Shri Vedaramanji, Shri Parth Jhavar, for their contribution to this very relevant topic, guided tour of the MCS portal, and make this webinar a great success. I must thank the organizing team, volunteers for working hard every weekend to make this series of webinars successful and popular day by day. Stay tuned with us every Sunday, dear students, from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. to enhance your skill sets on the practical topics. Thank you, everyone, once again for making it a great success. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Amit, over.